The public pen has learned that Ashtyn Kennedy, a Democrat candidate for a special election we're having here in Alabama, was fired this February after threatening to use her job at a Buffalo Wild Wings to poison ICE agents who might happen to visit. This happened just weeks before she decided to throw her hat in the ring to represent Alabama's 6th District in Congress. Ashtyn is part of a Discord server with a channel dedicated to stalking ICE agents. On February 4th of this year, the group was notified that ICE agents were thought to be staying at a La Quinta Inn in Prattville, Alabama. Ashtyn quickly responded that she would get off in about an hour and wrote that she would, quote, swing by to see if I see any Nazis and will report back. She then went to great lengths to stalk the ICE agents and report on their movements over the next several hours. She personally called the hotel in Prattville and interrogated the desk clerk asking for the location of the ICE agents. Ominously, she said that she, quote, has friends who live all around here in Prattville who are, quote, all going to keep lookouts at separate times to see if we can find the bastards, end quote. She then decided to camp at a Waffle House to watch for them. This is, of course, already disturbing behavior, but it gets worse. Later that evening, she started planning for what she would do if the ICE agents came into her restaurant while she was on shift. She explains that the restaurant she works at often gets late-night guests from that hotel and says, quote, if they come in, I'll let y'all know ASAP. I've decided that instead of physically confronting or denying to serve them, I'm going to serve them and then 1000% do things I can't type out just in case we got ops hanging out. It's going to be hard to hurt others if they're stuck on the toilet for a few days at the very least. The group, which includes her now campaign manager named Sabrina, was very supportive of this, so Ashtyn continued, saying, in my dreams, I'll have them, and one of them will tell me they have a severe onion allergy or really any allergy. At that point, what happens is up to God. Sabrina, who is the ever-dutiful campaign manager, responded supportively to this as well. But the story wasn't over. 1 week later, on February 11th, Ashtyn returned to the same Discord server and reported that someone had turned her into her job and gotten her fired. On her TikTok, she posted about getting fired for joking about ICE agents and claimed that a member of 50501, a leftist group active here in Alabama, had doxed her and turned her in, leading to her firing. In her TikTok video, she said, I just got fired from Buffalo Wild Wings. Apparently, a joke I made about ICE agents got taken out of context and sent to my boss. She continued, the 50501 in Alabama got me doxed and fired for speaking out against ICE. I was a waitress and I was like, if ICE comes in here, I'm going to make sure they're sitting on a toilet. You can't hurt somebody if you're sitting on the toilet. The other members of the Discord server were furious on Ashtyn's behalf. Alabama Disgrace, a leftist influencer who actually happens to work for the state HR department, said that because Ashtyn had been fired for threatening to tamper with ICE agents' food, that meant we were no longer people living in a free state anymore. Mark Wheeler, a Senate candidate in the Democratic primary, said that this indicated there was a troublemaker in their midst and joined the chorus of those who wanted to find whoever it was who ratted out Ashtyn to hold them accountable, whatever that means. Even Jeff Ramsey, who was running for Alabama Public Services Commission Seat 1 at the time and who we've done a video about before, if you recall, chimed in with his own thoughts. We reached out to Buffalo Wild Wings management and they didn't want to comment beyond saying that Ashtyn's comments in the Discord server were well outside of their policy and they didn't support them. What we do know is that Ashtyn was fired for what the company termed a social media violation. It turns out Ashtyn was known to post political content on her TikTok that had over 50,000 followers, sometimes wearing her work uniform. On TikTok, Ashtyn has claimed that this was the type of violation that led to her firing. In a video, she said, I lost my job. I got fired for talking about Alabama politics and Alabama power in a work shirt. However, according to messages reviewed by the public pen sent by Ashtyn, restaurant management was well aware of Ashtyn's messages threatening to tamper with food, and that this is what led to her firing, not merely for appearing in her work uniform in a public video. And as to the claim that she was only joking and that her words were taken out of context, well, according to Ashtyn's own messages, the district manager who fired her offered to look at the messages in the context they were originally sent to see if she was only joking, but Ashtyn, for some reason, refused because she knew the reality was not so flattering, and of course, she was fired. A mere 3 months later, on May 17th, a remorseless Ashtyn, now fresh out of the unemployment line, announced to the Discord server that she had decided she was going to run for Congress, so she immediately started fundraising. Her official campaign kickoff was on the 26th of June, and now she's on a campaign blitz, asking for donations and raising money ahead of the election on August 11th. Just 5 months ago, she wasn't able to hold a job at a Buffalo Wild Wings. And now she wants you, the people of Alabama, to give her a promotion so she can have one of the highest offices in the land, a seat in the United States Congress. Ashtyn fits in very well with numerous other leftists that we've covered on this channel. Outwardly, she presents as moderate, progressive, and reasonable. But on the inside, behind closed doors, we realize that she's truly an unstable, violent, and radical person. These traits are not unique to her. As you saw, she found ready support from numerous Democratic candidates and influencers who were ready to encourage her in her planning and shared her rage when she was finally held accountable. In Alabama, we'll need to be more careful than ever now, precisely because of people like Ashtyn, to be sure that Democrats never get elected in our state, because this is who they are behind closed doors. They are radical progressives who look one way but are another, and their entire election chances depend on you never realizing the truth. We're lucky to have been tipped off to this inside look at how Ashtyn really thinks, but for other candidates, we may never get so lucky. The only way to be sure you're not getting a bad egg is to be sure that no Democrat ever gets elected. It's pretty simple. As soon as we were sent these messages, we felt that someone needed to talk to Ashtyn and ask her why she feels that Alabama should send her to Congress if she can't even hold down a job at Buffalo Wild Wings. Well, we went ahead and asked her. A few days ago, the public pen went to Ashtyn's official campaign kickoff and confronted her in the middle of a major campaign event, screenshots in hand, and we asked her those very questions. If you want to see the video, we're going to drop it next week, so be sure you're subscribed to the public pen so you don't miss it.
Hi.
My name's Tyler. I'm with
Tyler.
the public pen. I got a quick question for you.
Yeah.
I have this quote from you back when you worked at Buffalo Wild Wings and you threatened to tamper with food for ICE agents.
Uh-huh.
What did you mean by that?